I have 45 seconds. I have 3 o'clock. We are live and we are recording. Y'all are muted.
Okay, go ahead.
She says you're gonna have to turn that. Okay. Field committee wearing physical authority. All members present. First thing we need to talk about is the Supreme Court ruling, which they've messed over us, but go ahead, Andrew.
There was a Supreme Court ruling recently pertaining to jails. And this past, I guess it was last Friday, I had a meeting with our local circuit and district judges. Judge Hale, he was present, just kind of sat back and watched and listened. And to that, it was basically what to accept fees for the jails, for the housing fees and the booking fees. And there was a ruling on it, but there still hasn't been anything set in law. So I've just kind of put everything on hold at the jail just to let you all know where we're at. Judge, I know you were listening and you said something about possibly opening up a separate checking account. You know, once we kind of get everything figured out, if that's possible, set up a separate checking account, because what happens is, just kind of give you a quick rundown of how this happened. Basically, somebody was in jail for a long period of time. They were found not guilty and they still owed fees to the jail. And then this man said, why should I have to pay that? I don't blame him. You know, don't blame him to a certain degree. You know, it's like, I didn't do this and here I am, you know, having to pay this. So this is how this case kind of all came about. So with the new rulings and everything, we're just kind of still in the process of, just like I said, I just wanted to bring it to y'all, let you know, of how we're going to be accepting stuff. And hopefully, in the future, what it will just be nothing more than if somebody is found not guilty, or if it's dismissed charge or whatever it may be, or there's another thing, a pretrial diversion, meaning if you don't get in trouble for the next 4 years, it never happened. So we have to keep track of all that kind of stuff with the court system. And if they did pay any fees, we may just have to reimburse them for what they paid. So that's where Judge, does that sound about close to where we're at?
And I talked to Jenny this morning, and I told Aaron that we probably need to put an email in Department of Local Government to see about separating that money. And obviously, if the court would have to vote to open a new account, for him to do that. So, and Jenny's going to be checking in on that. So that's just for audited purposes, that way, in case we had to pay some of that back.
And that's pretty much all I got on that. And the third one there, the policy changes due to that court ruling. Whatever we decide with, I'll have to change my policy at the jail, just to let you know, and I'll bring that back up to present, with each policy step by step on that. The next thing I had here was a contract worker for our programs. Here I have a sample contract, which county attorney hasn't seen or anything like that yet, but definitely we can run it by her. And run it by her for that. But this is basically what we got right now. We got programs, and this is a good way how the state recently has changed on how they pay for programs and the state inmates. Whenever they're doing the programs, upon completion, if you have a 30-day program that you're doing, upon completion and graduation on that, the jail gets $300. In each class, there's 10 people. We try to put 10 people in each class. So after 30 days, you're getting $300 per individual that completes that. A 60-day class is $600, and a 90-day class is $900, per completion. So I talked to our instructor, Kelly, and she's absolutely wonderful. If any of y'all are familiar with Kelly, she's top notch. I mean, she's a college professor for years. And talking with her, she does not want benefits. She does not want anything like that. So we talked about a contract worker. Basically, she would get paid for the amount of classes that she's given. Right now, we're basically giving 5 classes, and the 5 classes that we're giving, I'm sorry, but we got a couple more classes that we can also give, actually 3 more different classes, which Kelly is already certified to teach and everything. Kelly keeps up on being able to certify whatever she can. She is so passionate. She is probably in my opinion, at the jails. I don't know, the other ones, but man, she's definitely the top. That's for sure. What she does with our residents and inmates that come through there, I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. But this is one of those things and we sat down and talked with her, and we'd have to, talk about how much per week. And of course, I do have a figure. Me and her talked about that per week, to pay her, but how many classes she'd be given. That's kind of how it's broken down is, getting a, say $50 per class, because she's given, 8 classes a week. 8 classes a week. And some of them, it may be an hour class, but she may go over to spend that quality time with them. And it might be an hour and a half, it might be 2 hours, but she spends that quality time with them to work with them. For her, it's not an assembly line. Like, okay, you're just here to get this credit so you can get out of jail earlier. She doesn't treat it like that. And she won't allow the guys taking the classes to treat it like that. If you're going to be in her class, you're going to learn. If not, you're not going to be part of her program in that class. So this is something, I just wanted to present to you all. And what this would do is it's going to save us, we can make Kelly a full-time employee, but we're on the back end of that, looking at the budgetary wise of paying all the benefits and stuff to that. Kelly doesn't want that. She just wants to be able to teach. So this is just, like I said, a contract we'd like to be able to present to the county attorney if she looks at it. If it's something that, this report would want to move forward with, Kelly is very excited. We're very excited to be able to get a couple more classes. 2 of the classes that we'd be looking at would be a re-entry class. Where did I do the paper? But it's a re-entry class is one of them. And I can't think what the other one is. We're really excited about the re-entry class. That's a big thing here. We had not really a program, but we have, the resource responders, the COVID and stuff has kind of been put on hold, but hopefully come January, we're getting that back open and stuff, that re-entry for the, the residents of Barry County Detention Center going back into society.
So basically, this contract is for one person only.
Yeah, just for one person. That's it. Like I said, we had it, we typed it up and everything. Kelly, she looked at it and, she's for it and everything, but definitely, this is a contract we want, the county attorney to look at. She might make changes in it. She's an attorney. Obviously we're not. She may make some changes to it. And if it's something y'all decide, I think it's going to be beneficial, and it's going to also bring that revenue into the jail if we don't pull it.
So we don't need to do anything about it until we hear from the county attorney.
Yeah, I'm just, if it's okay to go ahead and take it to her and move forward with it. That's fine with you all.
So she's already given these classes now, right?
Yeah, she's our instructor. Yeah, she's already giving classes, but some of the new ones would be like the re-entry class and a relapse class.
Okay.
Those are 2
So
very important classes.
I guess my question is, what's the advantage of doing what we do now versus having a contract?
What we're doing now, she's only working 24 hours a week.
Okay.
20 to 24 hours. With those other classes, she's going to be doing more. And not only does she do the classes, but she does all the paperwork with those classes, submits them to Department of Corrections. She works very close with her Class D coordinator, Captain Smith. Hopefully in January, we have the resource responder thing. I would love for, all the fiscal court to be able to come and actually kind of let I know the judge has been there. He's very proactive with it, and, get to see kind of what we're doing there. Bad thing, it's been on hold for a while, and it's going to be exciting.
And Kelly does a good job.
Yeah.
She's top notch.
I guess the contract would hold her not to go on somewhere else either if there's nothing holding her here. Or
I don't know no, there's nothing holding her or anything like that. Kelly has been here. I'll be honest with you. Even if I try to kick Kelly out, she'd show up the next day for work still. I mean,
does she do other things at jail too then? Or?
No, she is just our instructor. You know, she's not a sworn deputy or anything like that. She's our instructor for the programs.
Does she have another job besides your working for you?
She's getting ready to give a class. She was telling me at, I think through Barron County High School, or maybe through Western at Barron County High School. Yeah, she used to be a professor down in New Orleans. And she moved back home through life circumstances, and like you said, she's absolutely wonderful. And her passion, that's the big thing. You can have an instructor come in and teach just about anything you want, but if you want it to sink in, it's the passion she has for this field. But it's, like I said, it's just something that we can look at that is going to help with those more classes that we're doing to bring in revenue, to kind of offset, especially, you know, if we're reimbursing for other things that are made into law. So it's just kind of trying to find a balance there and continue to make that revenue, which I know there's some magistrates, I'll call them out, Marco, that, you know, always wants to know what we do about revenue. And this is one of the things we can definitely do about revenue. And it's not, you know, and at the end of the day, it's not about revenue. It's how getting these guys to be, you know, good, productive citizens in our community. You know, if the state's going to pay for it, hey, that's just a bonus.
What's the compensation on this?
Compensation.
How much we're paying her?
Paying her, right now, she's a part-time employee, and she's right at the $21 mark. And with this, you know, because it's about how many classes you do and whatnot, it's still going to be right in there, actually be down a little bit. We talked about a figure being $650 a week for that, but I don't think she'll be working that 40 hours, because if we put her as a full-time employee at that 40 hours, what she's making now, I mean, you're looking at $840. So it's going to be $650, and she's getting everybody in those seats. And she also gets the GED testing too, which is a program. And the GED testing, basically how that is, every time that class goes, it's whoever's in the seat, it's $10 a class. And she does the final testing on it. And each test, there's 4 different tests for the GED. Each test takes approximately 2 hours.
Sound like you got it under control.
But she's just, well, I don't have them, so I'll be honest with you. She's got it under control.
Well, somebody
It
has.
is definitely all her. I mean, I just try to keep up. That.
You mentioned to me that Cal Wells wanting to raise food costs 5%, but you jewed them down to 2.5%, which we're
Yes,
proud of you.
on that, moving on from that, if, you know, like I said, I'd just like to be able to maybe, you know, have the county attorney look on that and be able to bring it back. On here recently, and let me give y'all a copy of this too. Kelwell swung by, they came in person. He did not, this donor of the company, he came in person and hand delivered this letter to me. And gave me this letter. And basically what it was saying is on January 1st, they're going to raise food costs 5%. And I understand food costs is going up. I mean, we all go grocery shopping, we see the prices. Well, me and John, we have argued nonstop back and forth since he gave me this letter. Even when he came, I was like, "You can bring me a Christmas bonus." He said, "Nah, Aaron, that's definitely not what I'm bringing you," because it was in an envelope, you know. And when I opened it up, this is what it is. And I wasn't happy about it. I told him I wasn't happy about it. And we've gone back and forth. And this morning, he's a really good man. And I told him I was coming to these meetings, and I said, "You know, I'm coming to these meetings. I need to know something." And I didn't want to budge off of 2.5%. And so he said, "We'll do 2.5% as long as y'all can agree to that instead of the 5%. And
Sure.
he told me there's jails that, you know, he's had to go, you know, 8 or 10% raise on them, but we were at 5%. But it's definitely, he said it's 5% across the board. Some had to be more. But, and like I said, I worked with them back and forth, and, you know, we'll do the 2.5 as long as that's fine with you all, and he'll put that in writing as long as y'all want to go forward with that.
Is this a contracted item?
Yes, it's a Kelwell, it's our food service company.
But I'm saying, we signed a contract with them starting July 1 to June the 30th.
Yes. And they can, and in there, because of food costs and stuff, they can.
Oh,
adjust.
there is a,
Yes, for the food costs of them, which I get it, you know, they're buying their food and they're trying to, you
Right, I
know,
mean, I
resell it
understand.
like a grocery store basically, or a restaurant, and you know, I can't be mad at John for coming to us and asking that, because if we go out to eat right now, food costs more. Go to a grocery store, it costs more. And he came with 5%. He's willing to work with us as Barron County at 2.5. And that's what I can bring to you all today, was that 2.5.
This 2.5 goes into effect first year then.
January 1st, yes, sir.
I mean, as long as there's something in the contract that says, you know, I don't know if there's anything we can do about it unless we rebid it or something, or,
Yeah, and I don't know how that would go right now, food costs being.
I know, I'd say it would probably be more.
Really better take it and run with it.
But, you know, after, you know, if y'all decide that 2.5 and move forward with the meeting tomorrow, after that, I'd be more than happy to contact him and John will put it right.
Look at the contract. You have, I mean, you already said, we have a copy of that contract here. Okay. So you want to make a motion, well, I don't know how we need to do that. Present this to the full court. or-
We'll have to.
Trent, can you hear? What's your thoughts on that, or?
Well, I understand the 2.5%. It's just the world we live in right now, and I don't have a problem with it. I do agree at some point in time, you can't, it's only fair to the citizens of the county to bid everything out. You can't just let it go on forever and ever, but, I have no problem with the 2.5%. Inflation is nationwide is a lot greater than that right now.
In that case, I move that we recommend to the court that we accept this contract for 2.5% increase.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
All right, we'll present.
That's about all we got in it. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion.
Adjourn.